Hello and welcome back to the Hornby Magazine workshop for another exciting new product launch. We're joined today by Steve Purves from Accurascale to find out what's next for 00 gauge. Stay with us and all will be revealed. Well, you may now have guessed what the new announcement is today. It's a brand new edition of the Class 66 from Accurascale, and well, a very colourful choice of locomotive to make these days. So Steve's joined us today to tell us all about this model. So if you could tell us first, why the 66?
Well, I think it's plainly obvious that any range would need something as ubiquitous as a Class 66 in it. They're everywhere, they run everywhere. For the last 25 years, they have been the backbone of British rail freight.
Yeah, because quite amazingly, 2023 is 25 years since the first one of these entered traffic, isn't it?
It's amazing to think that 25 years has disappeared like that. But yeah, considering how many there is now, they're across all of the UK, in Europe, even in Egypt. One of the most successful Type 5 freight locomotives ever built.
And incredibly, I think when these first arrived, and we were talking about this earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
That mob of EWS red and gold 250 66s, I think everyone kind of switched off a little bit on at that point when they came in. But now actually, I find a lot of people got a lot of interest in these now.
There's the variety, you know, there's different liveries, there's different detailing options with them, you know, between the standard zeros and the low emission variants and the later built variants. It's just a never-ending pot of variety, you know.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to colour schemes as well. I mean, you know, pretty much everyone seems to see these days in a different livery somehow to one another. Actually, one I quite like lately, I saw a DB one where it's EWS original livery. It'd seen better days. It was losing a bit of paint off the roof now. So.
Yeah, they're a little worse for wear, and they are slowly going through the paint shops at Toten into the new house colours. So, you know, this will be a benchmark model available in all the liveries that people can buy time and time again, hopefully.
So where did Accurascale start with creation of the new 66?
So we basically looked at it and we thought that we needed one in the range, and what was the best option and route to do that. Various conversations led us to look at what had come before. You cannot ignore the fact that there was an award-winning model designed and produced by Hatton's a few years back, which is now out of production. So we entered into a discussion with them to look at acquiring the tooling. So we've brought that tooling in-house. That's now made by one of our factories in China. We've been through it with a fine-tooth comb. We've improved on it. We've taken feedback from all the forums and customers and anything that really people didn't like about the first run.
Yeah, because there was, it obviously went down very well when the first batch arrived, clearly, because I think it was 32 versions and they all sold through, didn't they? So,
yeah, I mean, they sold out. There was no issues with them, really. The livery reproduction, the size, the shape, everything was spot on, and it was a really, really good model.
Obviously, from a consumer point of view, there were a couple of problems that modelers experienced with these. One of them was the axle boxes popping off. That was quite a common one. And also some problems. Occasionally, there was some wobbly running from them as well.
Yeah, and we looked at that, and we've been working with the factory, and we have devised a much more secure way of fixing the axle boxes. So that problem's now been engineered out. We've made various improvements to other detailing areas where things weren't quite right. But most of all, we've embraced the quality of the original model, and we've Accurascaled it. We've brought it up a level. We've made the easy access roof fitting. There's some options that weren't available on the original tooling, which we can now do, so we can replicate models more exactly. But the DNA of the model is still very good.
Yeah. So you mentioned about the removable roof panel. Yeah. Have there been many more changes to the inside in terms of the PCB and electronics?
Yeah, so the chassis block itself remains the same, but apart from that, it's all new. So we've got the Accura Thrash speaker, we've got a secondary speaker working in unison, we've got an upgraded electronics package with correct lighting features, basically everything that everyone would expect from a current day model.
Fantastic. And I really like the removable roof panel as well, which you demonstrated to us earlier.
Yes.
Just for how quick and easy it is now to access the decoder in there.
Yeah, so you don't have to take the body off now to get to the decoder, which again was one of the minor irritations with the old original model as it was produced. So now you can get to the decoder just by simply popping the roof off, which is held on by magnets. If you do need to gain access under the body, we've removed some of the body fitted features and moved those onto the chassis, so it's a much simpler process. For example, if you wanted to fit crew.
So we talked about the internals and the changes to electronics. Obviously, we've running qualities wise, we've seen how a Hatton 66 ran before. Yeah. Still a 5-pole motor, still twin flywheels in there as well. What change have you actually made to the physical appearance of the model?
So obviously we've redesigned a couple of areas to make it more us and to fit with our house style and feel. But there were some slight detail changes that we've made. So the original 66 had a pedestal style cab interior, which we've now tooled a new cab or new cab interior to feature the wraparound desk of the later versions. So for the right model, you'll have the right cab interior fitted, as well as elevating the walls from being stickers to actually being raised detail and printed. So that's a major improvement in the cab, especially when the lights are on. There's a couple of features that are slightly more robust, like the roof grille, which is now a slightly thicker material. It doesn't flex as much, and it's much more securely fitted.
So I think you mentioned earlier as well that the cab interior has now got the correct door arrangements inside as well, haven't they? Has it got is it 2 doors at one end and 1 door at the other?
So the entrance from the bulkhead has got a single door on the smaller cab, I think it is, and there's a double door on the other side. So that's, again, something when the lights are on and the printing's there, you'll be able to see through the cab and see it.
Fantastic. So then the actual like the buff beam areas, because there's a lot of detail variations on all these, isn't there? Particularly around the underframe. So.
Yeah, so there's the original tooling was quite comprehensive, so it gave you a huge variety of different options, but there were some that were slightly different. So the first few locos that arrived had got a different lashing arrangement with the eyes on the front. So we've now got that where we can tool that. We've got a version with the angled sandpipe brackets that fit to the bogies instead of just being a straight piece of girder. And then there's a couple of little things that we've corrected as well that maybe people wouldn't notice, like the direction of the springs that go around on the bogie were reversed on the original model. We fixed that. Yeah.
Lots of little tweaks.
It is, and that really is a testament to the quality of the original model. You know, I'm sure a lot of people have bought the original. Why would they replace it with the new one? Well, it's just that little bit better.
You mentioned before that the original tuning suite is very comprehensive. Are there any new versions you'd be able to build into the suite? Well,
yeah. There's whilst there was all the parts there, they weren't necessarily arranged so that you could produce everything. And there were some small gaps. So we've filled those gaps, those sort of hybrid combinations, as it were. The biggest all-new version would be the first few locos that were delivered with the different lashing eyes and the flush horn grills, which gives us a slightly different variation on the early EWS models. But on the whole, again, most of it was already there, and all we've done is take it, readdress it, and be able to fit all the parts together.
So presumably we can expect to see this with the options for either DCC ready or DCC sound fitted when it arrives?
Yep, so everything that you've come to expect from Accurascale, so the basic DCC ready version, which will work with lighting and everything out of the box. But then you've got the DCC sound version, which will come with Hall sensors underneath for detecting whether it's going around tight radius corners to activate the flange squeal. There's the power bank in there for stay alive capacity. There's the twin speakers, the Accura Thrash and the standard smaller speaker, plus the full suite of lighting options. So everything from day running mode, night running mode, yard mode, tail lights on, tail lights off, cab lights, it's all there.
So have we got a homegrown, all-new sound profile in the Class 66?
Yes, it's something we're working on at the moment. It's pretty much finished. What you see here isn't quite there, but it gives you a good idea of what to expect.
Excellent. And what type of decoder is going to be in it as well?
So that's an ESU Locksound V5, full fat, and that will be full range of features, the lighting, the sound, everything you've come to expect from a model with all the variety of day, night, running modes, cab lights, tail lights, independent everything, active braking, you name it, it's on there.
And that's all controlled from the decoder as well?
All on the decoder, yeah.
Wonderful. So I think the next big question is, what liveries can I buy on your new Class 66?
Well, I could say all of them. And in time, there will be all of them. Batch 1 is already figured out. Batch 2 is pretty much figured out. Batch 3, we're well on the way to completing. So there will be something for everyone. We're starting the range with an EWS one as it's running today. So slightly tattier with labels and warnings here and there, but still what can be seen running around out there. There is a brand new Xworks DB Schenker one. There is going to be a Freightliner one as delivered. So when it came off the boat back in 1999, the original Freightliner green and yellow. We're going to look at doing a DRS one. So there'll be a DRS blue ex-EWS hired machine. So it'll have the EWS features, but in DRS house colours. And there'll be a GBRF one as well.
Yeah, so covering all the main bases to start with, but clearly there's going to be plenty more 66s coming in the long term.
There will be plenty. There are going to be specials, there are going to be exclusives, there are going to be... the 66 is the gift that keeps on giving. There's so many varieties out there that we can drop one a week and still not touch them all in a year.
There's definitely a lot of 66 options in terms of liveries. It's a proper 57 varieties 66.
Yes, oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, we can do all the versions, we can do all the liveries. The rendition of the liveries will be absolutely stunning, as you can see from the existing models. This really will be the 66 to beat.
Right, so we come down to the most important question now, which is when can we buy one and how much will it cost?
Well, you can buy one Q1 2024. So we're aiming for delivery in Feb, obviously subject to any ongoing crises. And we think that you'll really like the price. So DCC ready, standard model, will be $169.99. And the DCC sound version with the Locksound V5, the full suite of lighting functions, capacitors, hall sensors, the lot, $259.99.
Excellent. So that's Q1 of 2024 when they're actually due to arrive.
Yes.
So what about pre-orders? Are you open for pre-orders?
Open for pre-orders today. So you'll be able to head over to our website or our retailers and place your order and be able to choose which one you want. All of them, probably.
Fabulous. Yes, I'll take them. So I think I have one more question for you, Steve.
Yeah.
If you could pick your favourite feature that you've built into this new version of the 66, what would it be? Really
simply, the roof. And I just find it really satisfying taking the roof on and off. Just clip, pop. Perfect.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been brilliant to see the latest updates on your Class 66 and what you're doing with reigniting the interest in the Class 66 as well. And well, I for one can't wait to see the finished product here fully decorated as well. I haven't seen the recent decoration on things like the Mark V sleepers and the TPE coaches as well. But once again, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem, thanks for having us.
Thank you to everyone at home who's been watching the video today as well. We hope you enjoyed this introduction to the new Accurascale Class 66 for double O gauge. And don't forget, you can read more about this in our latest issue of Hornby magazine. That's issue 190, our April 2023 issue. Or also you can visit keymodelworld.com/class-66 to see all of our content around the Class 66, including class histories, modelling features about the model as well, previous reviews of the Hattons locos. Everything you can imagine on Class 66 is right there ready for you.
Introducing Key Model World, your new online destination for everything railway and scale modelling. Featuring exclusive videos and features, unseen images, step-by-step guides, railway history and the latest news. Plus, it's home to our full layout build series.
I'm going to stop you right there though, because I didn't do this. This is all you're doing.
Join us for the latest content from Key Publishing's modelling titles, Hornby Magazine and Airfix Model World. Sign up today for as little as £3.75 per month, or if you're a magazine subscriber, bolt Key Model World onto your subscription package now. For more details, visit keymodelworld.com.